Today, we're diving into something really special, the very beginning of a literary giant. Herman Melville's Moby Dick, or The Whale. Chapter 1, Call Me Ishmael.
Yes.
And right away, you learn why he's going to see.
He tells you straight up. It's his substitute for pistol and ball.
Whoa.
A way of driving off the spleen, regulating his mood when things ashore get too grim. It's therapy almost.
And he notices how people are drawn to water. In Manhattan's, everyone's fixed in ocean reveries.
Yeah, he argues meditation and water are wedded forever, that even if you're absent-minded, you'll eventually wander towards water if it's nearby.
He compares it to Narcissus, seeing the ungraspable phantom of life in the water. It's quite philosophical.
Deeply philosophical. But then there's the practical side. Why a simple sailor?
Right. He's very clear. Not a passenger. They get seasick, don't get paid. Not an officer. He abominates all honorable, respectable toils. He actually likes being paid, calls it the most comfortable infliction.
Which is quite funny. And he sees it all as fated somehow.
Yeah, the invisible police officer of the fates, the grand program of providence.
He even jokes about his whaling trip being just a brief interlude and solo between huge world events like elections and battles.
It grounds it a bit, doesn't it?
It does. But the main thing, his chief motive.
The whale itself.
Yes, the overwhelming idea of the great whale himself. This portentous and mysterious monster. He admits he has this everlasting itch for things remote.
Loves to sail forbidden seas and land on barbarous coasts.
So it's not just escaping sadness or getting paid. It's a deep personal compulsion, a quest.
So Ishmael's big philosophical quest then slams into reality in New Bedford.
Right, the whaling port.
He gets there, it's freezing cold, Saturday night in December. It's a place to stay before heading to Nantucket.
And the inns he passes. The crossed harpoons, the swordfish inn, too fancy, too jolly and expensive for him.
He even accidentally walks into what he thinks is a church service in progress.
Yes, a Negro church, as he terms it, using the language of the time, before finally finding the Spouter Inn.
Great name.
And the sign has this tall, straight jet of misty spray. The owner, Peter Coffin.
Coffin. A bit ominous.
Just a bit. Ishmael's thinking about the horrible wind, the Euroclydon, and sees the contrast between people warm inside and poor Lazarus shivering outside.
And the inn itself, the decor is something else, this weird oil painting.
Oh yeah, it takes him ages to figure it out. It's a whale trying to jump over a ship.
And impaling itself on the mast.
Crazy image. And the other wall, covered in weapons.
Monstrous clubs and spears, old whaling lances, harpoons. Some with stories like Nathan Swain's lance killing 15 whales in a day.
15. It's like a museum of the hunt's violence.
And the bar.
It's this dark-looking den shaped like a whale's head with a huge whale jawbone arching over it.
Wow.
And the innkeeper, Jonah, served drinks in glasses designed to cheat you, tapered at the bottom.
Huh. So New Bedford isn't just some quaint seaside town.
No way. The streets are full of queerest-looking nondescripts. Ishmael mentions actual cannibals, green Vermonters looking for adventure. It's a wild mix.
But the really striking thing is the wealth. These fancy patrician-like houses, parks, gardens.
All from whaling. Melville says they were harpooned and dragged up hither from the bottom of the sea.
Amazing line.
Fathers give whales for dowers to their daughters. They burn expensive spermaceti candles like it's nothing.
The whole town is literally built on whale oil.
Absolutely. It drips wealth, but it's wealth pulled from danger and death.
Which leads Ishmael to needing a bed. And the landlord says he has to share with a harpooner.
And Ishmael's not thrilled, understandably, especially when the landlord mentions the guy's out late peddling his head.
Peddling his head, what?
Yeah. Turns out the harpooner, Queequeg, is selling balmed New Zealand heads. Curiosity.
Okay.
So Queequeg finally shows up carrying one of these heads, and he's quite a sight.
Describe him.
Dark purplish yellow color, face and body covered in these checkered squares of tattoos. Takes off his hat. He's bald, except for a small scalp knot. Ishmael thinks it looks like a mildewed skull.
Yikes. Initial impressions are not great.
Not at all. And then Ishmael watches Queequeg perform the ritual.
By idol.
Yeah, he sets up this curious little deformed image, a wooden idol, makes an offering of shavings and biscuit, burns his fingers, making these strange guttural noises.
Totally alien to Ishmael.
Completely. And the tension just spikes when Queequeg blows out the light and jumps into bed with his tomahawk.
Tomahawk. Okay, I'd yell too.
Ishmael cries out, "Cannibal!" But the landlord, Peter Coffin, just says, Queequeg here wouldn't harm a hair of your head. And And this is the turning point for Ishmael. He realizes the man's a human being, just as I am. Better sleep with a sober cannibal than a drunken Christian.
That's a powerful line and a huge shift in perspective.
It's massive. It's about recognizing shared humanity beneath the surface differences. Crucial for the whole book, really. This idea of finding kinship in unexpected places.
And the morning after, it sort of confirms this shift, right?
Totally. Ishmael wakes up. Queequeg's arm is thrown over him in the most loving and affectionate manner. His tattooed arm looks like part of the quilt.
The fear is gone.
Replaced by curiosity. And then we see Queequeg's routine. Puts his hat on first thing, pulls his boots on under the bed.
Weird.
And shaves with his harpoon.
With his harpoon.
Whetstone it a bit on his boot and shaves. Shows you how intertwined the tools of the trade are with everyday life, even in bizarre ways.
Wow. So this whole encounter, it's about overcoming prejudice.
Absolutely. Queequeg, despite being heathen and savage in Ishmael's initial view, shows this innate sense of delicacy, treats Ishmael with respect, even though Ishmael was rude at first.
Fear gives way to, well, friendship.
A surprising kinship, yeah.
Okay, so our last stop in this initial deep dive is the Whaleman's Chapel, also in New Bedford.
A very different mood here. Somber.
You walk in, it's quiet,
Mm.
a muffled silence. Sailors, wives, widows.
And the walls. They're lined with these marble tablets, black borders, each one memorializing a whaleman lost at sea.
And they are specific, heartbreakingly so. Like John Talbot, who at the age of 18 was lost overboard near the Isle of Desolation off Patagonia.
Or whole boat crews wiped out. The crew of the Eliza, 5 names listed, towed out of sight by a whale on the offshore ground in the Pacific.
And
Captain Ezekiel Hardy killed by a sperm whale on the coast of Japan. It really drives home the cost, doesn't it?
the cost of this whole enterprise. Resources, adventure.
Yeah.
But the price is real human lives.
And the detail that really gets me, Queequeg is there too.
Right. Staring at these tablets.
With this wondering gaze of incredulous curiosity. Why? Because you can't read them. It just highlights how this danger, this sacrifice, it cuts across all lines. Literacy, background, the sea takes everyone.
So wrapping this up, what does all this mean? We've gone from word origins to philosophy to a bustling port town to this unexpected friendship and finally to memorials of the dead.
Well, what we've seen is Melville, right from the get-go, establishing the whale as way more than an animal.
Yeah, it's a mythic force.
A source of incredible wealth, a bringer of life through that wealth, but also sudden, brutal death.
So this dives into just the start of Moby Dick.
Mm-hmm.
It shows it's not just a hunt story.
Not at all. It's this deep exploration of human nature, fate, our place in this huge, dangerous world. He sets up all the big themes right here.
Which leaves us with a thought. Ishmael talks about Narcissus, seeing that ungraspable phantom of life in the water. He has that everlasting itch for things remote.
Mm-hmm.
So the question for you, listening, is how do you pursue your own itch for things remote?
Mm-hmm.
What deep dives do you take into the unknown? And what unexpected connections, what insights might